Alright, we got homework 11 now. Number 1 is really big and long, just like it was yesterday. But we'll try and deal with it step by step. Okay? Notice, first thing to notice is there's this OR here in the middle. It splits our problem into two parts. You have to deal with the inequality on the left, and you have to deal with the inequality on the right. Separately, solve them separately. So let's first deal with the left one because it's big and ugly, and it's probably going to be a jerk. So just when you run into big ugly things, you got to break it down to little pieces. Here we have our inequality sign. So we're going to look at each of the sides. I highly recommend you simplify each side down to as much as you can, and then try to move things around. So let's start with the left side. You have to distribute because you got the parentheses and the number in front. 4 times 7 gets you 28. 4 times negative 2x is negative 8x. And on the right side, negative 3 times 4 gets you negative 12. Negative 3 times negative 8x. Sorry, not negative 8. Negative 3 times negative x gets you positive 3x because negative times negative is positive. And don't forget to subtract 20 on the end. So the left side, if you look at the left side, we got a term with an x and a term with no x. We can't combine those. We'll just leave them there. Let's look at the right side. We have negative 12 plus 3x and minus 20. The 12 and the 20 can combine to make a new number. So let's rewrite that. What's negative 12 minus 20? That's negative 32, by the way. If you want to count it out on your fingers, you can, or use your calculator. It's negative 32. Now I'm at this point. I can deal with this. You usually have to pick a side for your variable. Purposely pick a side. That way you're not trying to move stuff around that you don't know what your goal is. I'm going to choose to have my variable on my left side. So since I want my variable on the left side, I'm going to choose to get rid of the variable on the right side. If you want your variable on the left, you have to get rid of it on the right. So I'm going to minus 3x on the right side. And what you do to one side, you do to the other. Now we got 28 minus 11x, because negative 8x minus 3x is negative 11x. And the right side just has the negative 32. There's no more 3x. Okay, I'm still choosing my left side to have my variable, so I need to get rid of the 28. I do that by subtracting 28 from both sides. Subtract 28. And now I got negative 11x is less than negative 32 minus 28. You're basically adding those numbers together and then put the negative in front. Okay, now we're at this point. I still want to get x by itself on the left side. I need to get rid of that negative 11. So I'm going to divide by negative 11. When you divide by a negative, you must switch the direction of your inequality. Okay, notice how it's going the other way. Don't forget to do that little bit. And on the right side, we got 60 divided by, negative 60 divided by negative 11. Negative divided by negative is positive. So there's no more negatives on the right. And I'm just going to leave it as 60 over 11 because it does not divide evenly. I now have this guy here. So we've really done the hard part of this problem already. That was this big, ugly left side. Now we just have the right equation to deal with. To deal with this one, you're just going to pick a side for your variable. I'm going to pick the left side, which means I need to get rid of the variable on the right. So I'm going to add 2x to both sides. On the right side, the 14 is all that's left. There's no 2x. And on the left side, I now have 6x. And now I need to get rid of the 6 in front of the x, divide by 6. My sign in the middle stays the same because I did not divide by negative. I just divided by positive, it stays the same. The right side, I got 14 divided by 6. 6 doesn't go into 14 evenly, but I can reduce the fraction. I can either write 14 over 6, or I can reduce it, divide top and bottom by 2, to get 7/3. So those are the two answers you get at the end there. Okay. So looking back at the instructions, we're also supposed to graph our solution and write the answer in interval notation. So here I'm going to put down a little number line. 60/11 is just over 6, by the way, because if it was 60 over 10, it'd get 6. And it's 60 over 11, which means it's going to be a little bit less than 6, actually. So I'm just going to start 0 over here and count up to 6. Maybe add a few more if I can. 2, 4, 6. And then that side's negative. So I got my number line drawn. 60, I'm going to first graph this left one. I need to put an open circle because there's no line under the greater than sign. A little bit less than 6. So I'm going to put that right here. And this says x is greater than 60 over 11. So I need to shade the numbers to the right of 60 over 11. So I shade to the right side. Now I'm going to graph the right inequality that I have here. I need to put a circle at 7/3. Well, if it was 6/3, then it would be right at 2, but it's not. It's 1/3 more, so I'm going to put a circle just to the right of 2, and I'm going to fill it in, because there's a line under the greater than symbol, so I need to fill in my dot there. And this says x is greater than or equal to 7/3. I'm going to shade to the right. Shade right. Okay. If you notice, there's a lot of overlap here once you reach 60/11, and you keep shading the right. Now we need to write our answer in interval notation. Remember, we have an OR statement, and when you have an OR statement, your solution is anything that got shaded at all. If we notice, here the shading starts at 7/3, and then it's everything to the right of that, and there's nothing to the left. So our leftmost point in our interval is going to be 7/3, and it goes all the way to the right to infinity. Always a curved bracket at infinity. And now at 7/3, I have a closed circle, so I need to put a square bracket at 7/3. And now that's my final answer.